Every single day, $10 trillion in financial transactions flows through the absolute pitch black of the deep sea. This wealth, along with 99, we saw the impact of this new reality recently in the Baltic Sea, where subsea infrastructure was crippled by dragging anchors. Investigators focused on a Chinese-owned bulk carrier, the Yipeng 3, as the primary source of the damage. Espionage adds a layer of invisible risk to the physical threat. The scale of this data harvesting became clear through the leaks from Edward Snowden, which exposed the NSA's upstream program, a massive effort to tap international cables and siphon data directly from the source. The global economy now rests on a physical foundation that is remarkably easy to attack and, by its very nature, almost impossible to police. To steal data at the bottom of the ocean, you have to penetrate the microscopic core of a fiber optic cable. The challenge is siphoning the light without breaking the connection, which would immediately alert the network operator to a breach. Data travels through these glass strands in pulses of light. Physics keeps that light trapped inside the core through total internal reflection. The pulses effectively bounce off the inner walls of the fiber to stay on path. A successful tap has to bypass this reflection. Macrobending curves the cable, leaking light into an external detector. Alternatively, evanescent field coupling places a secondary fiber micrometers away to siphon energy. This extracts under 10% of the light, causing an undetectable signal drop for the operator. While the theft happens at the microscopic level, the mission requires a surface vessel. To stay invisible, these ships disable their automatic identification systems, disappearing from global tracking maps. These dark ships allow state actors and criminal syndicates to hover over critical cable routes and deploy subsea equipment with total plausible deniability. The perfect heist exploits two extremes: the subtle physics of light to hide the tap, and the macroscopic vastness of the ocean to hide the ship. A defensive counteroffensive is now unfolding on the surface. Tech giants and specialized maritime crews are deploying massive surface operations to harden these networks against future interference. They are deploying autonomous underwater robots to bury cables up to 3,000 meters deep. By carving these lines into the seafloor, they significantly increase the cost and the technical skill required for any physical tampering. The cables themselves are becoming sensors. Through distributed acoustic sensing, operators can monitor vibrations along the fiber. The glass core effectively functions as a continuous microphone, detecting the unique acoustic signature of an approaching anchor or a subsea drone. Above the surface, the anonymity of dark ships is eroding. Groups like Skylight and Global Fishing Watch are leveraging commercial satellite data to bring a new level of transparency to the open ocean. AI cross-references satellite imagery with historical tracking data to spot behavioral anomalies. If a ship vanishes from AIS tracking, the AI can still identify its silhouette hovering over a critical cable line, stripping away the ship's invisibility. By pairing subsea acoustic sensors with orbital AI, operators are finally beginning to illuminate the ocean's blind spots. Identifying a saboteur on the water is a technical victory, but the battle for long-term security is shifting toward the legal arena. Existing international law has largely failed to protect this infrastructure. The primary treaty governing these cables dates back to 1884, and its peacetime penalties are far too weak to discourage modern state actors. This failure has forced a shift toward a strategy called deterrence by detection. The goal is to create an environment where any act of sabotage is guaranteed to be identified and publicly exposed. To enforce this, private cable owners are adopting an aggressive legal strategy, filing civil lawsuits for damages and declaratory judgments of illegality against the entities behind the sabotage. We see the blueprint for this in Google's Lighthouse lawsuit. By suing unknown cybercriminals identified only as DOES 1 through 25, Google used the court to legally establish the illegality of the acts, even if the defendants never appeared in a courtroom. These lawsuits create three tangible costs for saboteurs. They generate massive reputational damage. They force marine insurance carriers to drop coverage for suspect vessels, and they establish a financial paper trail that can lead to the seizure of bank assets. Subsea cybersecurity has become a boardroom-level responsibility. Robotics, AI surveillance, and courtroom litigation do not erase the tyranny of distance, but they ensure that for the first time, attacking the world's data lifelines carries a public, financial, and legal price.